Hey y'all, it's Brittany G from Georgia, and today we're going to be talking about the dispositions of teaching. This is for SEC 201 with Miss Corners. I hope I said that right, Miss Corners. If not, I'm sorry. Um, and we had to go over a table about the dispositions that teachers should possess and or that we feel that they should possess. And I, of course, checked off strongly agree with all of them. Um, because I do feel that if you're going to be a teacher, you should possess all of those things, which I'm sure all of you felt the same way too. Um, so, what positions do I possess that will make me a successful teacher? I am super committed to the profession of teaching and learning. I mean, I feel like if you're going to be a teacher, it's something that's laid on your heart. You don't just wake up one day and say, "Oh, I'm going to be a teacher today." Or it's a lot like being called to a profession, like being called to be a pastor or being called to be a doctor. You truly want to make a difference in people's lives. And I believe that that is what teaching is. You're not only teaching someone material and the things to help them get through life, you're teaching them the fundamentals of human interaction, and you're setting these you know bars and standards for these kids. And to be dedicated to that, and being dedicated to being their teacher, and to be dedicated to get up every day and teach these kids, knowing that some of them, they won't realize how important it was until, hey, I'm 33, and I don't think I realized how important it was until my own kids were in school. Like, man, these teachers, they're up for sainthood, somewhere. Anyways, on to the next one. I have a servant's heart, and I believe in I'm Southern. I believe in warmth, kindness, compassion, professional friendliness, overall friendliness, and I genuinely care for other people. I think that if you're going to be a teacher, those are things you should be. Um, no one likes, I don't know if you guys have seen Matilda, but nobody likes a Miss Trunchbull. I mean, nobody. I also believe in integrity, and I promote and support curiosity in the classroom. I once had a professor, and the beginning of class, he told us, he said, "I expect questions. There's no such thing as a stupid question, because it lets me know that you're thinking." And that's just always kind of stuck with me, like, yeah, if these kids are asking questions, they're thinking, the wheels are turning in there, and that's a good thing. And we shouldn't down anybody, any child, for asking questions in a classroom or outside of the classroom, on a personal level. Well, not a personal level of questions, but a personal, like, one-on-one, like, "Hey, Miss Hartley, I really didn't get that." We should not just roll our eyes and be like, "Oh, well, if you didn't get that, then you won't be getting it tomorrow either." No, we should take the time, and we should do our very best to help these kids understand and, nurture that curious nature. That is a wonderful, wonderful thing. I also believe that everyone can learn. And that we should set realistic goals for each child according to their individual learning learning style. That's the word I'm looking for, learning style. Um, and I am also sensitive to individual students' needs. And I say this not only for normal ed children, but for the special ed kids as well, because you've got to be an advocate for these kids, for every kid, no matter regular ed or not. These kids need you to show up every day and be like, "Hey, I'm here and I'm fighting for you." And doing what you need to do to make sure that they're learning and learning the best way possible. What do I need to work on before entering the classroom? Now, this was not on the list, but I'm a little bit of a pushover, and I have a hard time saying no to people, and I just really think that, for instance, like as a parent, I do a lot of bribing. Like, hey, if you make 100 this week on that spelling test, you can get the Adominus Rex Lego set, or you can get the Polly Pocket with the 5 different interactive figures. I do a lot of bribing, and I can't do that as a teacher. I mean, there's only so many times you can bribe kids with pizza and ice cream cake, really. So I need to work on that. Just setting those boundaries and saying no. That's what I need to work on. What attributes should a professional educator have, and how should they behave, and what standards guide their thinking and actions? I believe that educators should be kind and courteous. They should have integrity, and they should be number one advocates for their students. And believing that essentially every student can change the world, and they have the ability to help that every day. How might teachers' dispositions positively or negatively influence the psychological and moral development of adolescents? Well, other than parents, a teacher sees a student more than most anyone. And because they do, I feel like we should be extremely cautious in how we present ourselves. The things we say and do, as well as placing value on learning. Many kids look at teachers in the same light as their parents. And, with their eyes on us, we must be giving them the best version of ourselves, the absolute best, because they're looking to us for guidance. How will I uphold the expectations of the profession, including code of ethics, professional standards of practice, and relevant laws and policies? I will always do my best to make sound judgments, never stifling my students' curiosity and encouraging personal and mental growth, but also upholding justice and advocating for my students. I say that a lot, but that's the truth of it, isn't it? How will I promote healthy moral development with my future students? I believe that healthy moral development is extremely important, and I would love to implement practices like fables and stories and parables into, my everyday, well, maybe weekly curriculum, just to show kids the impact and the power of words and the power of actions and the power of choices. And, engage students in that and say, well, okay, yeah, let's put ourselves in this position. And, I would just really love to engage them on that level and just to kind of see what they took away from it, because perspective really is everything. In closing, I just want to say that teachers really are so important, and they have the ability to drastically change a student's life. We should always remember that. We need to keep that in our hearts. And every day we need to choose to get up and be a better teacher than we were the day before. Our students need the best of us more than we could ever possibly realize. So, thanks, y'all. I hope this finds you safe and well, and I hope that you enjoyed it. I'm sorry that it was a little long-winded, but I am from the South, and I'm sure you guys realize that. I'm sure you could also tell. But thank you all so much, and I hope you have a great night.